Let me just start with this. Boundaries are the ultimate act of self-love. They are absolutely essential when you are forming a strong, loving, and healthy relationship. Yet, so many women struggle with them. Why? Because we've been taught that to be a good woman, it's to sacrifice. It's to be accommodating. It's to put everyone else's needs ahead of our own. The truth is, when you don't set boundaries, you are showing your partner that you just simply do not respect yourself. And he is going to mirror that. That gives him permission to go ahead and do the same. Boundaries are not walls in your relationships. Boundaries are actually invitations for your partner to love you better. So if you have found yourself resentful, if you have found yourself not seen, not heard, not understood in your relationship, wondering why your partner is just simply not stepping up for you, after this episode, I promise you, you won't be. Boundaries are not about controlling him. It's about protecting your energy and teaching him how you need to be treated and how you need to be loved. So if you're serious and if you're ready, then lock in, because it's all coming up right now. Hi, welcome back to The Vibration Fall. My name is Alicia Ray. I help women all over the world navigate their love life in a more feminine way. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, make sure to subscribe to stick around. Okay, let's begin. First of all, let's get really real. Let's strip it all the way back. Where do you feel like you are giving too much? Are you always the one saying yes to things that you don't really want to do? Or do you feel guilty asking for the things that you need? Do you silently overcompensate in your relationship, hoping that he will just silently eventually realize your worth? So an example of these things would be you covering for his lack of effort. He doesn't plan dates, so you guessed it, you do. He forgets your anniversary, so you remind him, and the day comes along and he still doesn't deliver. Each time you do this, you are sending a signal to him that it's okay for him to put less effort in and have absolutely no repercussions whatsoever. But there's a cost that comes with having no boundaries, and there's always a price to pay. You're going to feel invisible because your needs are not being met. Over time, resentment's going to build, and that's going to leak into your connection that you have with your partner. And then your partner is going to lose respect for you because he's going to see that you are allowing less than. He can see that you are tolerating less than. I want you to think about it like this. I want you to imagine a really luxurious hotel. It has clear rules, okay? It's got no smoking, it's got a beautiful restaurant downstairs, and there's a dress code to that restaurant. People respect the rules because they value the experience. Now imagine if that hotel, that same hotel, let absolutely anyone in. Anyone can smoke there. Anyone can come into the restaurant dressed however they like with absolutely no repercussions. Over time, the property, the hotel, is going to lose its value. Guests are obviously going to stop coming back. I want you to think about your relationship like that hotel. Your boundaries set standards for how you want to be treated. Okay, so how do you actually set boundaries in your feminine energy? Setting boundaries doesn't mean shouting, crying, screaming, giving ultimatums. Boundaries in your feminine energy are done gracefully, but firmly. So how do we do it? You need to get very, very specific and very, very clear on your needs. What do you need more of? Do you need more time? Do you need more attention? Do you need more affection? Do you need more gifts? Get very specific. Write it down right now. I want you to start communicating without guilt. You need to be using I statements if you are not already. Whatever you're doing, do not accuse him of anything. Let me give you an example. Instead of saying, you never prioritize me, you would say, baby, I feel so unloved when we don't spend quality time together. So to make up for it, I'm going to let you invite me on a date. You can plan it, and then when you're ready, you can ask me, and I guess I'll just have to see if I'm free. Now, even if you live with him and you're in a long-term relationship, or maybe even if you're married, you can still say this to him. My partner still, to this day, asks me and invites me on dates. And I always say to him, I'll check my schedule, I'll see if I'm free. And you can say that too, obviously, to be playful and sweet and make it something that doesn't seem like a chore, something that seems quite romantic. Don't let the romance die. It's so easy to let the romance die, especially if you are married or if you are in a long-term relationship and you guys are both living together. The next thing that you need to do is you need to be able to follow through. This is super important. A boundary without action is simply a suggestion. Let me give you an example. Let's say consistently he lets you do all of the household chores. You could say, baby, I've been feeling so overwhelmed with all of the household chores. I'm really struggling to manage it on my own. I need us to share the responsibilities so things feel a little bit more balanced. So let's sit down tonight and let's create a schedule and a plan that works so we can make sure things are getting done fairly without making me feel so overwhelmed. If he doesn't follow through with it, stop picking up the slack. Let the dishes pile up. Let the laundry pile up. This shows that you are serious about needing his support without nagging him, without crying, without losing your cool, without breaking character, most importantly, without overexerting yourself. The goal here is to clearly and calmly communicate your needs. If you have a solution, feel free to provide it now. And then, if the boundary is not respected, take action. Not picking up the slack anymore is you taking the action. And that is inviting him to now take action himself. I want to give you some more examples of some boundary setting that you can do in your feminine energy. So let's say he's taking you for granted. He stops appreciating the little things that you do for him. Stop doing them. Don't announce it. Don't make it a big deal. Don't draw it to his attention. Slowly redirect your energy towards yourself. Remember, focus goes where energy flows. Watch how quickly he notices. Okay, let's say he oversteps a boundary and he raises his voice to you, or he speaks to you in a really disrespectful way. You would calmly respond saying, I'm not going to accept being spoken to like that. I'm going to give you some time to calm down, and when you're a bit calmer, we can talk about this in a respectful way. I don't want either of us to say things that we can't ultimately take back. That's not who I am, and I know that that's not who you are either. The reason why this works is because it's showing that you are calm, first of all. It's showing that you are composed. It's showing that you are respecting yourself. And obviously, if you are respecting yourself, it's going to work like a mirror, and you're going to see a lot more respect and calmness from him also. Boundaries are magnetic because when you set them, you automatically step into your worth. You're no longer chasing love, you're attracting love. Feminine energy is all about receiving. It's not about forcing. And boundaries are what allow you to accept and receive that love effortlessly. So these are some things that I want you to do today. I want you to say no to something that you don't want to do. I want you to speak up in a feminine way about one thing that's been upsetting you, one thing that's been bothering you. And I want you to do one thing today that fills your cup instead of overextending yourself to fill someone else's cup. The twist here is men love a woman with really high standards, really high boundaries. They admire a woman who respects herself because it forces him to step up. He is now presented with this decision of I either step up or lose this woman. When you set this boundary, you're setting him a challenge to treat you better. And when you set the boundary and you allow him some space to achieve that boundary, you are showing him that you trust him to deliver. And men fall in love through challenge. I actually know a woman who stopped tolerating her boyfriend cancelling plans last minute because of his busy schedule. She just calmly told him, listen, I'm not going to make time for you until you start to respect my time and you start to respect my schedule. Initially, he pushed back. I think it was the initial shock from it all. But within weeks, he started to prioritize her. He started to cancel some meetings. He started to prioritize her schedule because he was now presented with a challenge, and he was now faced with the reality of, hold on a moment, I either step up for her or I lose her. Having boundaries is going to show to your partner that being in your life is not a given. Being in your life is a privilege. You are a goddess level type of woman. Stop accepting the bare minimum. Stop accepting nothing from your partner. Stop overextending yourself. Stop being overly accommodating. Stop being so sweet. Stop being so kind. Stop being so subservient to him. And that is especially if this is a man that you are married to and you want to stay married to, or if this is a man that you genuinely want to marry, because you can actually lose a really good man doing this. Remember, women are the silent leaders. We show a man how we want to be led. Even the best men, sometimes from time to time, need that guidance. And yes, it does take a strong woman, a woman who is in her divine feminine energy. That's the type of woman who gets what she wants. That's the type of woman who is loved, safe, and adored, because her partner knows genuinely, and I don't care how toxic this sounds, that he genuinely cannot function without her. Her high standards and her boundaries are what keeps him successful. It keeps him in check. It keeps him satisfied. It keeps him attracted to her. It keeps him in love. Don't fear boundaries. Just know that when you set them, the right man is going to rise to the occasion and meet them. And just a reminder, I have some more spots available for my one-to-one coaching program that is over the period of a month. However, it's up to you how you use these calls. There's 4 calls in the month. You can distribute them over the course of a year. You can distribute them over the course of a month. It is entirely up to you. Maybe what I teach you in week 1 might take you 2 or 3 weeks to grasp, or it might take you longer, or it might take you 2 days. So we can really work together, completely rebrand everything about yourself to present yourself in a way that's going to keep and attract a high value man. So that is a wrap for today's episode. Remember to save this, share it with your girlfriends, leave me a comment, feel free to ask me any questions. So until next time, I love you.